It's time to start the show. The gang is ready. Let's go. Jim and Sam. Jim and Sam. Jim and Sam.
Now, if any of you sons of bitches got anything else to say, now's the fucking time!
Hey, everybody, Jim and Sam are here. It's time to celebrate the moment. I feel it in my soul. It's written in my bones so deeply. I wanna lose control. So turn it up a little more and laugh along with me. The show is about to begin. Series 103. Yeah, so get ready. Yeah, I'm so ready. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, everybody, Jim and Sam are here. Sing it like, hey, are you ready? Jim and Sam are here. Feel it like, hey, everybody, Jim and Sam are here. So if you feel it like I do, you gotta sing it with me too. Like, hey, everybody, Jim and Sam are here. Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
How's it sound, okay?
Yeah, it sounds good from here.
Okay, great. I hate this because I can't get it set on my ears and it's right in front of my mouth and I'm afraid my little fucking microphone condom's going to fall off. But I'm okay.
You did lose your microphone condom a couple times yesterday.
How true to life is it? It's so funny, but at least I tried to put the microphone condom on to begin with. That's the difference.
You're saying your instinct is just to rebel?
Oh, absolutely. So the hell with it. It won't happen to me. So, yeah, I enjoyed Jess yesterday. I hadn't talked to her in a little while. It worked okay. And we have Ian Fidance today, or is it Fidance? I can never say his last name properly.
Fidance.
Fidance, yeah. I always put an N in there. Doesn't it sound like there should be an N in there?
It does. The first time he was on, I had to do a couple walkthroughs before, as I was pronouncing his name, like figuring out exactly what the spelling is and everything. Yeah, but it's Ian Fidance. He'll be in a little bit later today. Of course, Jim Norton is in Montreal already doing press and whatnot, but really being a part of the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival, where the rest of us are headed right after the show today.
I got lost today. My fucking cabbie coming here because I'm not staying here. I'm staying, probably about a half mile from here.
Ooh.
He picked me up and I told me at the DoubleTree between Rennie Levesque and St. Catherine. And he turns around and he starts coming back the right way. And then he starts to make a right off of Rennie Levesque, which is the wrong way.
I just like that you know the street names and everything. You're such a local. You've been there.
So cultured.
Yeah, you've been there for a few days, and it's like you've acclimated.
I didn't even say it like Rennie Levesque. I said Rennie Levesque. And I said here, Montreal. No, I didn't say, but he starts making a right off it. And I'm like, no, you got to make a left. And he goes, oh, the DoubleTree. And he was like, he was Haitian or African. He spoke with a very heavy French accent.
It's probably Haitian.
There's a lot of Haitians up there.
Yeah, because it's a French spot, right?
Haitian accent, yes.
Yeah.
And it sounded like it didn't sound like it sounded like a Haitian accent on it. So I couldn't even get mad though because he was like no, and I just knew he still thought this was the Hyatt. So I went, no, all right, the Hyatt, go to the Hyatt, and he winds up taking me the wrong way. So we tried to go up to St. Catherine. All the roads. It was probably 10 minutes out of the way, going into a giant square to go back to where we were. And I wanted to murder this fuck, but then I realized I'm the foreigner. Like I'm the problem because I don't speak French. Everyone else up here speaks French. I was wrong. So he finally got me where I had to go, but it was my fault. But now I'm like, this is why people use Uber. This is why people don't like taxis, because they don't use the fucking maps. It's just a guy riding around in a dirty car. That's why everyone hates taxis.
But you know why you're not the problem? What country are you from?
US of A, pal.
Exactly. So really, and honestly, you could say, well, it's my fault because I'm in Montreal and I don't speak French. But let's look at Canada as a whole. It's nobody speaking French except in Montreal.
No, I know, but that guy had a reason. He had it was reasonable for him to expect me to speak French in Montreal.
I guess so, but it's also, it's the comedy festival. There's a lot of out-of-towners coming in, I would imagine.
Yeah, I know, but he was very, he spoke English, but just not like when I told him between Rennie Levesque and St. Catherine, he goes, they run parallel. and I wanted to grab him and scream. That's what between means.
But then again, the problem probably is you, because it's not like your morning travel woes are isolated to Montreal. Like, this is an ongoing theme regardless of where you're doing the show from.
Yeah, no, I know. They just don't seem to. If you don't have a map in your car, if you're not using some kind of a Waze or something, you're an asshole.
Yeah,
That's
it
just the
really
way it
is. Yeah, people think that they're so familiar with the city. No. I know all the best ways. No, you don't, because there's an app that tells you what the traffic is right now. There's no way that you know what the traffic is right now.
Yeah, and but he didn't know where it was. We just kept going in a fucking a circle because all these roads are closed for the festival. But it's like, hey, dumbbell, I could have told you that. St. Catherine is closed for traffic because there's gonna be people walking with stupid fucking bags with that smiling green shit monster on it, whatever that thing is.
Yeah, you mean the JFL mascot? Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's especially when the festival is going on, it's a weird city in terms of navigating. Last year, or maybe 2 years ago at this point, Troy and I got stuck in a cab for, like an hour and a half trying to get around that city because so many of the roads have been cut off.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating. I certainly don't know my way around. It's just been a couple of days, but I've been here enough over the years, right? You kind of get a feel for the city.
Our cab driver didn't know where he was going either.
Sure, he did. He just knew that you didn't.
Well, here's the beauty of it, that he was trying to be polite. You know, I was just going along for the ride. Troy was responsible for the trip. So the guy kept saying, like, oh, I'm sorry. He kept making wrong turns. The roads kept being shut. They would be one way. And the meter would just go up. He's like, I'm really sorry. I'm going to turn off the meter, okay, guys? And I started insisting that he leave the meter on. No. Please, sir, leave the meter on. This isn't your fault. And he did. He was nice enough to respond positively to my request, and he did leave the meter on.
Sure did. No, but you probably didn't realize that Troy would have to pay more.
Oh, wow. 2 years later, I'm just figuring that out now. I apologize,
And
Troy.
then I did, and then when the tip came, you're like, don't be stingy. In front of the guy.
I love doing that to Jonathan, too. Whenever we get, I'm like, make sure you tip him. He doesn't believe in tipping. Then he has to over-tip, and it's irritating.
Right. Yeah, and then Troy's, because it's a percent-based thing, obviously, so Troy can't just give him the standard tip. He's got a tip on the already inflated, hugely inflated price of the ride. And we were just going to pick something up, so it was there and back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was a really, really expensive night for Troy, and I thought that was funny.
So now you're driving up today. You have obviously Hot Dog in your car, and you have Troy.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, just those guys. Now, I know Travis is not coming. Did I hear you say you rented a car?
Yeah, I rented a car.
Is it just so you don't put the miles on yours?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I did last year. That's just the easiest way to do it. You rent the car, you throw the receipt to Sirius at the end of the day, and everything's kind of taken care of. You don't have to figure out the mileage. You don't have to figure out the tolls. You don't have to figure out all that stuff.
Oh, you know what? That's a pretty good idea. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't fly either. I drove up, too. I just felt like taking the drive. It's not a bad drive at all.
And I put enough miles on my car. You know, I drive a lot, so, why?
But did you buy it or did you lease it?
My car that I have now?
Yeah.
I just got a new one that I'm leasing.
Oh, okay. But you don't want to add the miles.
No, yeah. I don't want to add the miles to it.
All right.
So
well, that's good.
But I'll tell
Especially
you,
when the company's paying for it.
it's on the company. It's
Yeah,
on
so
McClure at
stupid.
the end of the day.
Yeah, why put miles on your car?
No. Get it out of McClure's pocketbook. That's my strategy in life.
Well, do they pay for mileage on the car if you drive up your own vehicle?
I'm sure most companies have a thing where there's a
$10 a mile.
I think it might be less.
Oh, is it less? Okay.
I think it might be slightly less than $10 a mile. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, there's usually a mileage rate but I just rent the car.
Okay.
Although I was watching a video last night based on the in-flight entertainment that is becoming available. The human being in-flight entertainment. I almost wish I was flying. Did you
So
see
do I.
the video of the couple that ended up getting into a fight on an airplane? And when I say the
See
couple,
it. I want them to cuck me. I love that couple.
I do feel like it was mainly the woman who lost her cool a little bit on this flight, but it seemed like the man had driven her to the point of insanity.
I don't know what happened or what he said to her, but man, was she loud and dropping the N-bomb. I'm like, was she a white lady or was she? I couldn't tell.
She appeared to be Caucasian.
Yeah.
Did she?
Yeah.
She looked.
What did you think, Troy?
Was she mixed? I couldn't tell. I mean,
ethnic of some sort.
I
Okay,
thought she was Caucasian and maybe just came from the community, but I don't know. All I could base on is the video. I didn't see any articles about this. I didn't see anything. Although I found the original Twitter account that it came from, and the woman who posted it, who I believe was filming it, said that the lady who got thrown off the plane did get arrested for assault.
Of course she did. Yeah, she was a real. Obviously she was a sexually attractive woman, but she was a little loud for my taste.
She was a little loud. We could listen to the audio if you'd like.
I would love to.
Going on. I don't know where this flight was going to, but it was in the coach cabin. It was before they'd even taken off. I'm always perplexed by that I guess because it's such a hassle getting to the airport, getting to your gate, especially if you don't travel often. You know, if you travel a lot, like you do, Jim, I'm assuming you have everything kind of down to a science and a system.
Yeah.
But if you don't travel much, then it gets really frustrating really quickly.
Well, can you imagine sitting there? I mean, not that he was a bargain either. When you're sitting there, just to have this fucking moose screaming at you, cursing at you, loud. Like, I fucking hate loud people in public.
Yeah.
I hate them.
It's so
It's
embarrassing.
such a shit quality. It's embarrassing. It's rude. It's invasive. Like, you know what would have been great in the middle of this whole diatribe if you just heard a gunshot and then silence? God, she sucked. Like, how did he not know before this day that she was a piece of shit?
Well, apparently he had eyes for another woman. He was looking at another woman, and I could see where she'd be this upset. For if he's going to look at other women, I mean, come on, the gall, the audacity.
Can we play some of this? I enjoyed this pig a lot.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, you better believe it. I wear the fucking nuts, nigga, in front of public. You want to fucking try to look at other women, nigga? Now fuck you.
Okay.
You ain't gonna look at other women, and you ain't gonna tell me you looking at other women.
We have a little child right behind you.
Yeah, I know. I fucking consoled the fucking child.
Oh, could you hit pause?
Fucking console the fucking child.
That's her T-shirt. You know how Bagel Guy has his you're not my boss, you're not my father, you're not God, whatever his catchphrase
Yeah.
is? Yeah, I consoled a little fucking child.
I fucking consoled the fucking child. Comforting woman.
Did she say I wear the nuts?
Yeah, I believe she did.
She might have said I wear the nuts. And I think I'm counting either 2 or 3 N-bombs so far.
There's a lot of them, yeah.
Yeah. Now,
There's a black
do...
guy right in front of her who didn't seem to turn around. I guess he didn't want to turn around and go, pardon me, madam, your language, you know.
No, he doesn't want to get involved in the whole scenario. He knows
No.
that this is not going in a positive direction.
No, and she's the type that would gore you. That's what happened. She's basically running through. I saw footage the other night of a fucking college student who was just standing on campus, and a bull ran around the corner and gored him. I don't know how a bull got out or where it was from, but he was just standing there by his bicycle. That's what this is like.
Right.
This is the type of thing where you speak up, and then this fucking rotten bull and puts a horn right in your stomach.
So it's like being on an airplane and all of a sudden a rhinoceros attacks you.
A rhino is even better than a bull. Yes, a grouchy rhino.
Who's using
grouchy rhino?
Who's using racial slurs?
I couldn't. I just even the fox. And she's blaring this fucking guy's business out. It's just awful.
And can we take a moment to appreciate modern technology and how all the woman did that's recording this is point her phone in the direction of what was going on, and we end up with crystal clear audio of this interaction.
Incredible. It's really and you know, I don't always like to see a person's mistake made into this giant thing that ruins their life. When you're being this loud on a plane for this long, you kind of deserve it.
What about when it's in a bagel shop?
Well, you know, I don't fault him as much. He was defending himself for a lifetime of bullying.
He also didn't drop a ton of N-bombs and curse at little kids. Yeah,
No, not at all. He was yelling at adults.
he was. That's different.
I already know. Look, I'm not gonna say nothing if you don't say nothing, try to cause a commotion, because he's the fucking problem. You wanna fucking try to fucking say shit to me, nigga?
Okay.
So shut the fuck up. Nigga, fuck you. You wanna fucking watch when we get home, nigga? Just take her off the plane. Yeah. Fuck you. I'm not bringing my bag to the what? If I let him in my bag, I'm not ever gonna see you again. I swear to God, don't you ever come to my house, nigga. I'll call the police on you.
6.
Fuck you. Oh, really?
You're going out of control.
Nigga, I'll go visit right now. You shut the fuck up.
Okay, pause for a sec. You hear him saying you're going out of control. You're going
This
out
is her
of
going out of control. She's obviously one of these bipolar or some fucking lack of control over her own behavior. And obviously she's had this before. This is obviously one of those things where he's like, this is a point where he's still hoping he can shut her up.
Do you think this guy has been in this scenario in the past?
In restaurants, in fucking movie theaters. I want to check my text, but you know, she's just a fucking obnoxious. She's a fucking an obnoxious. What is she? She's a giant seal. She's an obnoxious giant seal.
That you just want to club.
Yeah, I want to watch her go off a cliff in a Netflix documentary.
You think she's complained about the fact that as an adult she should be allowed to check her text messages? That as an adult she should be allowed to check her text messages wherever she sees fit?
Absolutely. You're in the middle of a fucking movie and all of a sudden you see this fucking the bright screen and she says something. Oh no, Pookie isn't. You know, she says some obnoxious nonsense in response to it.
It's even worse because she's got the alert turned on where the camera flashes whenever she gets
this nonsense in response to it.
It's even worse because she's got the alert turned on where the camera flashes whenever she gets the text. So it lights up the entire theater every single time.
Yeah, she's just an aggressive, obnoxious. She's obviously a bipolar person. There's something wrong. Unless she's just fucking drunk or high or something.
Or just angry. She might just be, you know, that's the thing. I mean, with all these kind of definitions and terms we have now, some people are just rageful people. There's still rageaholics. Like there's some people that just get high off of that rage.
That's very true. And she's also, but you could tell it's happened before. He's like, you're starting to get out of control. Like, I would have literally walked off the plane and left this fucking animal alone on the plane.
Yeah, just go. Even if you have to lock yourself in the bathroom or something, just leave the area.
Dude, I would have fucking stormed the cockpit anywhere quieter.
Let's rewind just a little bit, Troy.
You got it.
Yeah. Fuck you. I'm not bringing my bag to what? If I let him in my bag, I'm not ever gonna see you again. I swear to God, don't you ever come to my house, nigga. I'll call the police on you. Fuck you. Oh, really?
You're going out of control.
Nigga, I'll go visit right now. You shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
That sound, if you could hit pause, I believe that sound, from what I've been informed, is a Dell computer being thrown at him.
Oh, did she throw a computer at him?
She threw a computer at him. That's what I am. I was informed yesterday in my readings that at some point in this confrontation, she did indeed throw a Dell computer at him.
Oh, she hit him with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, dude? You get up. She hits you with the computer, dude. Looks like Bob Kelly. Fucking yelling at me, dude. Got the sunglasses on. Boom. You relax. You look at the girls. Yeah, I can see it. She's hitting him with her Dell. It's great. That's why they all went, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. That's assault, brother. You think she looks like Bob Kelly a little bit?
He does.
Oh, he does with his.
Oh my God, yeah.
With his short and shirt combo.
Oh yeah, they're an awful couple. They're an awful couple.
You think it's a toxic relationship?
Oh my God, would I love to have been on this flight?
See,
Thank God it didn't happen during the flight though. Like it happened beforehand.
Yeah, then you just get to talk to your seat neighbor the entire time. Like, oh, how about that couple that got kicked off the flight? Huh? That was a little wild, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. And then by the
But yeah, if you're saying it was a close fight, but you had to lean one way, it's Pacquiao because
it had something to do with they were arguing over the Grey Poupon.
Ooh, that's much worse. I mean,
yes, it is.
Talk about a reference that's not even remotely topical.
No, it's not.
I have to imagine the fraction of our audience that would even understand the reference has got to be
Two
very.
bombs. 2 bombs. Yeah.
That's okay. All right, let's go back to our handsome couple.
No. Oh, you gonna come up?
Yeah, man, I'm clean up, man. Get up. You're assaulting me, man.
Oh, I'm assaulting you?
Yeah,
I know you for fucking years. I'm assaulting you?
Oh.
I'm assaulting you?
She's hammer fisting him. She's hammer fisting him on his way up the aisle.
Yeah.
Do you know how happy I would be if I were sitting on a flight and I got to see a woman hammer fisting her significant other in the aisleway while I'm just sitting there? I'd go, you know, what did I do to deserve being on a flight as entertaining as this? This is amazing.
Yeah.
Unless it was right next to you. Then you might think you're going to get caught in the crossfire.
I'd be okay with it. Just if I get to just see it. You know what I mean? If I get to be that close to it. That's like saying, you know, you don't want to be in the front row of a concert because who knows, a mosh pit might break out and you could get hurt.
Yeah.
It's worth it, isn't it?
That's a good point.
Or a comedy club because you don't want to get picked on.
Oh, yeah. I like to sit in the front row because I want to see what this comic has to say about me. I could give it right back to him.
Whenever I go to comedy shows, I wear a shirt that says, pick on me.
Can you usually spot when there's somebody in a comedy audience that wants to get picked on?
In other words, can you spot an asshole? Yeah. Yes, you can.
Yeah, well, if he throws it at me, I'm going to dish it right back.
You can spot them and you can hear them. Indeed.
All right, let's go back to this beautiful couple.
I'm gonna get my purse.
Are you okay?
Fuck you. You want to say I'm assaulting you? Fuck you. Fuck you, Memo.
Memo.
Yeah, I'm going over
She
there.
might be Latina.
Yeah.
She could be Latina,
Oh, maybe.
for sure.
What's memo mean?
I think that's his name. I took that
okay.
to be his name. Like they have little like kind of like pet names for each other. She calls
Maybe
him.
she got a memo from the buffet that said you've had enough.
Okay.
And she says, fuck you, memo. She's ignoring the memo.
'Cause she's going back for another portion.
She certainly is. It's dinner and she wants pancakes.
She wouldn't want to hear that.
Yeah. Good stuff. She's a big girl.
Oh, Johnny, that's very offensive.
Yeah. My God, Ed, you really were drunk on that flight. Dropping the N-bomb. Oh, oh, oh. Didn't get the memo.
I'd love to hear Johnny Carson cover racially insensitive viral videos and just take the wrong perspective on them.
Ed and a comedian named Bob Kelly. Ed said, fuck you, memo. Ooh, the crowd would laugh. That's right, Freddie. Talk to Fred DeCordova. Oh, good Lord. So she did get, what, they subdued her with a tranquilizer dart outside? Is that what happened?
Let's see her get pushed off.
Oh, now.
Fine, whatever. Oh yeah, Memo.
She said, "Oh yeah, Memo." They said we're gonna like this guy stopped her, and he said we're gonna have to charge you with assault.
The
And she
captain,
said,
I think.
and she said, "Fine, whatever."
Yeah. Wasn't it the captain?
It looked like it. He had a nice shirt on. But she said, the lady who filmed it said that this woman was charged with assault when she got off the plane. And the guy didn't hit her back with a computer or anything, so I'm assuming the guy wouldn't have gotten charged with anything.
No. He may be getting a charge where he didn't have her registered as a comfort animal.
Just hammer fisting him all his way up the aisle. And now, what's he going to do? He's got to bail her out? You know what I mean? If she's going to jail, he's the one who's responsible for her.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know what their relationship is. She said you won't ever come over again. So they're probably not married. They're probably living. They probably don't live together. They probably just are dating.
How
I
do
wonder
you?
where they were going.
How do you end up in a relationship like that?
I don't know.
I get it.
You do.
Yeah.
You just
Is
end up.
he a problem too, though? You think?
I'm sure he has his issues.
He's probably really frustrating in the sense that he's got his issues, but he's pretty smart about keeping them quiet. Like he probably does treat her like shit, but not in front of anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't
He
know.
probably likes that he's maybe a little bit more submissive. Yeah, because he wasn't really firing back.
No.
And so,
But he's also smart enough to know that if he fires back at all, it looks way worse when the guy's doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm sure
Yeah, what's he gonna do?
she started out, nice, sweet, strong woman, and then just kind of switches.
She's probably very good in bed.
Of course she is.
Oh, is she a wild one? Open your ass, Memo.
He goes, "You got it."
I'm gonna eat your ass, Memo. Or she says, "Eat my ass." Yeah, you're right. She's probably a big sub.
Yeah. And I guess people will just put up with stuff like that because the physical side of it is worth it.
And you
It's
get
like
in over
watching
your
Kareem
head
and his-
sometimes.
You do, right?
Yeah.
No, that's okay. You do.
Yeah, I guess so, but I don't know. I have so little tolerance for like craziness being around me, like that I completely, the minute I see a hint of it, goodbye, see you later, goodbye, and that's it. I'm out for good.
What happened to the woman? She was arrested. And where were they going? Does anybody know where they're from or where they were going? Like, were they going home? Or were they going to, like, hopefully they were going on vacation.
I don't know. I guess I assumed they were going home because I would have thought they'd be in a better mood if they were going on vacation. I feel like you get more frustrated. And what day of the week was it? It was Monday. Although it was Monday, that's the beginning of the week.
Could be a business trip.
Yeah, I guess it could be a business trip, but I don't know why
she's an
you'd bring
attorney who had a client.
I don't know about that. Bringing your significant other with you, and I don't know. I don't know, Jim. I don't know if that's the best theory in the world.
Maybe they're coworkers. It seems like she's a boss of a law firm, and he's her the young upstart lawyer, and she was objecting to some of the legal strategies he was suggesting they imply.
This could be a great network episodic.
Yeah.
It said that it was an American Airlines flight from Chicago to Toronto, and it forced the aircraft to turn around just 15 minutes after takeoff and land back at O'Hare International Airport.
Oh, wait, they had taken off?
Yep. I'm reading right now. It says it departed the Windy City at 5:06 p.m. on Wednesday. I guess the video is just coming out now, but it happened on Wednesday. But soon returned, a rep for the carrier confirmed to Fox News that it was caused by two disruptive passengers. So I'll bet what happened, because they wouldn't have let him get up if the flight was still in the air. So I'll bet what happened was they were being really disruptive, and they went back to the airport. And then in the calm down period, that's where things went a little crazy.
They should literally charge these fucking people whatever it costs the airline.
Oh, yeah.
To do that. That's so fucking annoying. A disruptive passenger should literally be fined a year's salary, because they're so fucking selfish, and the fact that they disrupt the lives of so many, like this screaming monster. People have to go through customs when they get to Toronto. Oh, what a fucking couple of pigs.
Yeah, and it's making everybody late.
Everybody's late.
Because, I mean,
by
think
the way,
about
you're not
it.
just late by 15 minutes.
No way.
It's 15 minutes out, 15 minutes back, go to the gate, re-taxi, get back. They're probably delayed by an hour and 20 minutes.
Well, now it's 5 p.m., they say, right? So it's 5 p.m. for a plane to take off unscheduled. You know how many planes are waiting to go off, and they're actually scheduled to take off?
It's especially in Chicago, O'Hare, and that's why it looked like a small plane, which is of course why they needed the emergency row. You know, a little more room to spread out. And they were probably that's a small plane, so God forbid the weather was bad. You have to wait. I would love to know how delayed that flight was.
But you know what? Wherever everybody's going, whatever they're going to do, they probably, in the grand scheme of things in life, they won't remember what happened the day they got to Toronto. What they will remember is the wonderful altercation they got to see on the airplane.
That is right, yeah. I mean, they should be arrested. If you're a disruptive passenger, you should automatically be arrested anyway. Immediately arrested. They should have cuffs on the plane.
Yeah.
And they should be able to cuff you and gag you and throw you like a dog on the closet. Yeah. So nobody else is late.
Hog tie.
But what if
Hogtied.
I've heard that they don't know how to hog tie people.
It says the original flight was delayed about 4 hours.
Wait, so they were already tense and cranky, probably drinking at the fucking airport bar. So wait a minute. So they were already delayed. They finally take off, and these fucking
wait till you hear
pig
this.
makes them go back around.
Wait till you hear this. Police met the aircraft on the runway when it landed at the airport at 5:45 p.m., right? So it lands back at the airport at 5:45. Police get the passengers off. It re-departed at 9:15 p.m. So you're talking about 3.5 hours after what we just saw. All those passengers have to wait another 3.5 hours that they would never. They were already in the air.
Their whole lives were disrupted. They missed money, family functions. What the fuck was the delay? I'll bet it was a weather delay. And again, those little planes. And now you got to be put back in the queue.
Yeah.
What a fucking disgusting couple of people.
Now, do you think that there should be an arresting officer and hog tie expert placed on every flight, or do you think it should just be part of flight attendant training?
No, I think that the way they dragged that Dr. Dow off the plane is how they should have grabbed her. Grabbed her by the fat of her back and smashed her fucking face into the handle and dragged her off, kicking and screaming with a crane. God, that ruined my day. Just reading that, just hearing you say that ruined my fucking day.
Just allowing her face to smash against every armrest.
So maybe the plane was 4 hours late overall. Like maybe the plane overall was 4 hours late, including the second delay.
Well, I mean, the second delay was 3.5 hours.
But what was the first one? How did it read the delays? What time did it say?
The police, when the woman got arrested, it was 5:44 p.m. That's when the woman got arrested.
What time was the plane originally scheduled for?
It was already in the air. So
No. But was it already delayed? Or was
5:06.
Oh, okay. So it was taking off, and then they got delayed 3-something hours. Why? But they probably, you know why? They probably had to take statements from the flight crew.
Yeah, it's 4 hours. It was in the air at 5:06 and turned around and didn't get back in the air until 9:16 p.m.
How fucking enraging.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's go to Tommy.
I hope other passengers sue that couple for anything they've lost because of what they did.
They should be able to, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Let's go to Tommy. What's up, Tommy?
Hey, good morning, guys. Could you imagine being on that plane and being a smoker and not being able to have a cigarette? And and shit.
Dude, I can't imagine being on any of those planes, like any scenario where they make you sit on the plane for hours and hours and hours without taking off. I go into panic attacks. Like, even when I start to lose it when I realize that we're circling before landing because they're waiting for the runway to clear up. Like, when I see that the plane is starting to lower, because I get sick on landings anyway, so I have to prepare myself for the landing. And then when I realize we're just kind of circling, waiting, and there's no update, and we're just circling, immediately I start going to, we're stuck in here forever. I'm never going to get off this plane. I'm going to get sick.
I'm going to like that. Yep.
I go into panics immediately. I can't imagine, like, waiting for a cigarette and you're on the ground, you just can't get off the plane.
Well, I think that's the reason. I've said this before, too, that I think air rage incidents have shot through the roof. There's a lot more people flying. They're packing the planes more. But I think the whole fuck you to smoking everywhere within 90 miles of an airport, I think that's got smokers going so fucking crazy. Where, like, you used to be able to smoke, like, there'd be, like, a little lounge you could smoke. But now there's like an extra 45 minutes or an hour that you can't smoke before you take off. So any delay piled on with a long flight makes people go fucking crazy.
Yeah, why did they get rid of the smokers' lounges in airports? I mean, they usually did a pretty good job of, like, confining them into plexiglass so it would become almost like a sauna just full of nicotine, which I don't
gross.
care. I mean, it's disgusting and it's terribly unhealthy, but if it's not affecting me, I don't care.
Yeah, they should just do it and then charge people to go in there because that way they don't have to give the space away for free.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, like charge you a pass to get in there, like, $20 a day or whatever it would be, because this way they can pay that rent. But I don't know. Maybe,
can you
no,
sneak
you
like a jewel
Nope.
or anything?
Maybe in the bathroom you can, yeah.
Yeah, because I guess that would be the alternative.
God, how fucking enraging that those people had to turn around. They probably didn't want to bring them into Canada like that. That's true. That's why they couldn't land like that, because it's such a short flight.
Yeah, but dude, stuff like this is exactly why I drive every chance that I possibly get. Because even in traffic, there's always, like, worst case scenario, there's some kind of exit or something. You might not get to where you're going, but you can get out of the car. You can go somewhere.
Oh, there's another one I'm reading too, where this is November 28th, where a passenger assaulted his wife, and he refused to get off, so they all had to get away. I literally was looking up American Airlines as we're talking to find something else. I picked up the wrong American Airlines Chicago flight assault.
Oh, my God.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Well, O'Hare is, like, the most popular airport in the United States, right?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, so I would imagine that's probably part of the reason. Number one, you got the most people, but number two, it's probably the most frustrating, too, because there's so many chances for something to go wrong.
I'm also reading, too, as we're talking, a Michigan couple and their 19-month-old daughter were removed from an American Airlines flight after the airline told them other passengers and crew members had complained about their body odor. Fucking good. One of these stupid fucking families that doesn't shower. These gross people, they just, whether they're overly religious or they're just fucking hip, whatever they are, and they stink, and the fucking airline booted them off. That's so great.
Can you imagine? It used to be people were so excited about air travel that you would wear your Sunday best. You would show up in a suit. It would be really an event. You know, you'd have a tie on, you'd have the whole deal, you'd have your jacket pressed so that everybody was impressed. Now you got families that are just kind of rolling onto the plane in their pajamas without showering.
And now I'm reading it where the guy is thinking they were Jewish. He thinks it was anti-Semitic. No, it wasn't. No airline looks at Jewish people and goes, get off because you're Jewish. American Airlines just, it doesn't. If you smelled and the crew and passengers were complaining, that's why they booted you, because you stunk. You were just disgusting.
I think it's so. I'm okay with if there's a severe prejudice against a significant body odor.
Absolutely. Get the fuck off.
Yeah.
Take a shower. Realize you're interacting with other people. Had nothing to do with religion. Unless that's why you're not showering, which I don't think that's it. I think you're just a gross couple.
Yeah, there are societal norms. Showering is one of them. I think it's okay to say people should shower to the extent that they don't walk around stinking.
Yeah, and you imagine being stuck next to them, just a smelly, disgusting couple.
You'd want to throw up, though, and you realize you're just stuck in there. Plus, it's the odor is permeating throughout the cabin. Like, you wouldn't even have to just be next to them. You could be in front of them, in back of them. You'd smell them.
Yeah, it would really annoy me.
It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. Well, hopefully that woman will get fined a tremendous amount of money. Not that they have a lot of money, but still.
It'd be nice to make their lives a little more difficult, you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know, were they yelling? I guess they were yelling and screaming the whole flight.
Well, they weren't. There wasn't any flight. They were, they'd turn around after 10 minutes.
No. I mean, before the flight, were they yelling?
Oh, I don't know.
Before it took off, did they start?
I don't know. You mean, was there any sort of signal that maybe this is happening and we should nip this in the butt right now?
Yeah.
I
don't know. By the way, I'm also, there was a couple of cops got shot. The Louisiana police, I'm sorry, 2 cops apologize. They were fired for suggesting that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez should be shot on Facebook. How fucking stupid are you on Facebook to suggest that a public figure should be shot? You're cops. How dumb are you guys to suggest that?
It's so stupid. It's not even a freedom of speech thing anymore at that point. It's just
now when you're talking about someone being when you talk about a public figure being assassinated or shot like that, you have to know you're going to be fired for that, especially when you have guns
in a public forum.
It's so fucking stupid.
It's really dumb, but people just want to be able to get out there on Facebook. They see, Octavia Cortez getting out there and getting a public forum, and everything that she says gets attention paid to it. So they go, well, I need to get on my soapbox too. I need to post this on Facebook. If you're not a public figure, I don't see what social media and posting your, especially political opinions, is going to do for you. I don't see what's the net positive.
And he was so clear about what he was saying. There was no innuendo.
Do you have the quote?
Yeah. He said he linked to an article. I think of her talking about like police officers or border officers or something, and he said she needs a round and not the kind she used to serve.
Oh, that's very clear.
It's super clear.
There's another guy who liked the post who was fired. I don't agree with that, because sometimes you're scrolling through something, your thumb might hit something that likes it, unless he commented back. But you can't be fired for liking a post, because there's been times. Have you ever been scrolling through something and you realize you hearted a post that you didn't mean to or whatever, just because your thumb hits it as you're scrolling? But it's really fucking dumb. You know what it is? It's things that they used to say on the phone to their friends. Like, again, you're drinking, you're not thinking, you're fucking like, yeah, that fucking content. And then all of a sudden you're on Facebook writing it now. Like, if I had social media and was getting drunk, I would have been fired from Sirius in 2005 when it was still XM. Eric Logan would have fired me.
Yeah, I guess you have to be disciplined enough to know yourself and know if I'm going to be drinking tonight, I need to hide my computer. I need to get way far away from the Facebook login page.
Yeah.
You just have to know, but you're right. I mean, it is so stupid. It's such a dumb thing to do.
Unnecessary. I mean, being a cop is such a fucking brutal job. Obviously you're in danger of being shot, and you go and say some dumb shit like that on Facebook about just some woman who you think is an asshole. Just say she's an asshole.
Yeah, that's
or
fine.
Or you hate her, or pick up the phone and call your friend and tell him that. But, she deserves a shot. If you know what I mean, we know.
We know. You didn't. You should. If you hadn't said that, you'd at least have the benefit of a doubt. But now you removed the benefit of a doubt.
Yeah, and his dumb friend likes it. Good job.
Yeah. Enjoy that, buddies.
Yeah.
You'll be able to make all kinds of comments. So, they both got fired, and this was in Louisiana?
Yeah, I mean, they got, it's just a stupid thing. It's embarrassing for the police department.
It is amazing how much, what's their name, the squad?
The squad.
It's amazing how much the squad just fires people up, huh? People just really, really feel a certain way about the squad.
Yeah, yeah. There's no need to get so upset about them. It's just, I don't like Omar because I've seen certain interviews. But there was a paper. What's her name? Iliad Omar. Her first name. I forget how to say her first name. But the woman
It's
from
Ilan,
Minneapolis.
right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I saying it wrong? Okay.
Ilan, right?
I think that's right.
Ilan Omar.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's Ilan Omar. Yeah.
Okay. Iliad. That's a fucking long form story or something. I'm
Yeah,
so
the
stupid.
Iliad.
Yes.
Homer's
sorry.
Iliad.
Okay, sorry.
Doe.
But she had fired. There was an interview of her going around where she said something about, well, yeah, but people say Al Qaeda, and then when they said that their chest raised, but it's not when they say American. But the interview that was going around recently. But I don't know if that clip was taken out of context.
I
because,
read
again. It got cut. It got cut. So I'm like, I don't know what she was really saying there.
I read about that. Yeah, that's their kind of evidence for her being an Al Qaeda sympathizer. And I read the full context of it. And while it's not the most delicately worded thing in the world, it doesn't read like she's an Al Qaeda sympathizer.
It got cut off too soon.
Yeah, it gets cut off. I mean, she makes the point that you kind of when people talk about Al Qaeda, they physically create this villain out of them through their body language that they don't do with other organizations, and that's true, but at the same time, she doesn't take a second to say, which, by the way, a lot of that is justified because they're a terrible
Yeah,
organization.
she's a fucking asshole. Let's be honest. She sucks.
She just
this
doesn't-
woman
yeah.
fucking sucks.
She-
But well, there's a reason we don't do that when we talk about Americans and guys who put on bomb vests and run into a fucking a market. Yeah, there is a reason for that.
You mean because they didn't do 9/11?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
shocked that your chest raises a certain way? It doesn't when you say Americans. Well, no, asshole, it doesn't. That's why when you left, this is what it's annoying. Like when you leave Somalia, this is why you came here and didn't go to another place, because there is something special about being here. And it doesn't mean that you have to fucking babble about American exceptionalism and never criticize America. But when you leave a place like Somalia, which is an awful place, and you come to America, that's why you come here, as opposed to a place that Al Qaeda runs. So don't act like you don't know why somebody's chest raises when they talk about Al Qaeda, because you purposely didn't go to a place where Al Qaeda was in power, because that's a disastrous place to live.
Yeah, I think a lot of times she comes across like one of those college kids who just took a class and kind of goes, well, you know what America does is, and it's like, okay, I think there is a big difference between that and being a full-on Al Qaeda sympathizer. You know what I mean?
I don't think she's a sympathizer, but I
No.
think that she's a fucking. But she's sympathetic in her language, and that when she said some people did some things, she's a hateable person. Again, do I think that she's all pro Al Qaeda? No, but she is a fucking asshole, and I think people who dislike her are right to dislike her. I think her, the way she discusses that irritates me.
Although she would probably be the first person to say, language matters, words matter.
Yeah, she would, and yet she wouldn't see that she's somehow fucking softening things. And I don't want to hear how it like puts a bias against a religion. Hey, sorry, sister, I'm not the one who fucking put the religion in. The guys who did it are the ones who said this is why they're doing it. That really irritates me. So,
Yeah.
She's extremely dislikable.
I think it's irritating too. I just wish that, if the president were going to make a comment about it, you know what I mean, or take a stand against it, he'd be able to illustrate it a little bit more eloquently than just saying, like, go back to where you came from, because now...
Four people.
Right, instead of saying, hey, as Americans, we can all agree on this. And you go, yeah, of course we can all agree that Al Qaeda is bad. Yeah, of course we can all agree that language that she was using to describe Al Qaeda was pretty inappropriate. She's being way too light on them. Yeah, she shouldn't have said that. And instead, he went so far in the other direction that you object to that, and whichever one you're objecting to, you're forgetting what the other one's doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And but there is something valid about the fact that you leave a lawless place and you come to this country, which is great, and then you act like you don't understand why people get a different body reaction when they mention Al Qaeda. Don't act like you don't understand that when you obviously don't want to be in that place either. We all understand why there's a different reaction to Al Qaeda being mentioned than the U.S. being mentioned.
Why do you think people go so crazy about Alexandria Cortez? You think it's because she's...
She reminds you of every teenage daughter that drives you crazy.
Yeah, she's just such a spitfire.
She's a spitfire. She's young. She's beautiful. She's loud. She's not backed off easily. She hasn't been around long enough to be as popular as she is, and there are times where she's purely emotionally driven and doesn't exactly know how to back up her points, like the whole green thing. There's a lot of the things that she pushed that weren't thought through, so she reminds you of every teenager you've ever argued with. But I really like her, even though I agree with about 20% of what she says. I still like the fact that she drives everybody fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I think she's good in politics because she's exactly what you need. Yes, she was a bartender last year. Good. That's exactly why should you be a career politician? Who the fuck says someone who's a bartender can't get elected? So it's great.
And it goes back
how
to
about a conservative bartender gets elected? Good.
yeah, who
The fuck
cares?
do I care? Yeah.
And it goes back to what we talked about before, I think, which is this idea of people being so phony and full of shit all the time. Whether you agree with her or not, she's not full of shit.
No, she's not. And she has the same emotional value to politics as Trump has, and also in a way that Obama has, as she feels fresh and new, and this is not the same old garbage we've been getting.
Getting back to the Facebook thing where we kind of started this conversation about the cop who said that he was implied that he wanted her to be assassinated on Facebook.
Let's circle back to Facebook.
So he got fired. Good idea, Jim. Let's do that. Pete in Indiana wants to contribute. What's up, Pete?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I want to tell you that Jim, I agree with you 100% about the accidental liking a post or a tweet or a Pinterest or whatever. I am in charge of a area of HR for a small to medium-sized oil company that all we do all day, I've got 3 people under me and a couple interns. All we do is look at people's social media all day within the company.
Oh, wow.
And every now and then I have to pull a person in, and it's not about their political views or any of that stuff. Our main concern is we're a small, mid-sized company, and people are posting pictures of them improperly used machinery or whatever, and it's like, okay, you know what, we can't be showing you do this type of stuff. But looking at everything people post, they like stuff accidentally all the time. I hear that when I'm asked, I'm going to go, hey, man, we can't have you talking about, say, for example, communist sympathizers. Or here's another one. I had a guy last week. He basically was going through agreeing with Antifa shit about putting a bike lock in a sock and beating somebody in the face.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
So, yeah, and he's like, that was an accident. I just didn't like that. And I've also had to have one person talk to his wife and have her quit tagging him on every goddamn post she put because he barely uses his account, but it's like our rivals can see this shit just like we can. It's amazing. These people all know they're being watched, yet they don't set their privacy settings on Facebook to only their group of little friends. No, they just leave it out there for the entire public.
We talk
George
about
Orwell.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. We're all being watched, and we've allowed them to do it.
Well, not only we are being watched, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're
Exactly.
allowing it. It's all a cycle that we've created.
Well, you're right, dude, about Facebook.
Thanks,
'cause,
Pete.
Like I deal with. Thank you, Pete. As Sam's radio partner, I always have to tell him, like, you got to stop liking the white supremacy stuff.
Why do you keep bringing that up?
No, it's not a big deal. I mean, you're allowed to have your opinions, but like a lot of times off the mic, it's like, Jim, they're ruining our country. I'm like, Sam, come on, that's not.
That's not true. It's not true. I wish you would stop making these accusations because they really are false. Although it has happened to me plenty of times. Like I not that.
Oh.
I meant accidentally liking something where you're just reading somebody's post, but you don't necessarily want them to know that you're even paying attention to them anymore. Like you haven't talked to a person in years, and then you're kind of scrolling past it, and you click like, and you go, oh, shit, and you unlike it, and you just hope that a notification hasn't been sent. Like, I can't stand on Instagram. I like to do my social media. I like to lurk.
Yeah.
I like to do my social. That's why I don't like a ton of stuff. I don't interact, but I look at a lot of stuff. I like to lurk and not let everybody know everything that I've seen or reacted to. And I can't stand that on Instagram stories, every person that's looked at your stuff. Because I've had people go like, oh, Sam, I saw you looking at my Instagram stories. And I'm like, I don't want you to know that. Like, do I need a dummy account so I can look at stories?
You already have one.
Yours?
Nope.
I like to find whatever slight amounts of anonymity I can find on social media, but it's getting more and more difficult. And I've definitely done it on Instagram too, where you're just kind of trying to scroll past something and you do the double click. And you go, oh shit! And you're trying to hit the heart again so it doesn't stay.
By the way, this whole thing about they're going to remove, I know they're doing it in Canada where they're going to remove the likes from Instagram and all that stuff. I mean, you should be able to do that if you want to, but it shouldn't be mandated because teenagers are not properly being taught what real self-esteem should be based in. That should not be the fault of everybody else on social media, that teenagers and their families are failing to tell them what should make you feel good about yourself isn't a like. And by the way, if Instagram or Twitter is going to really double down and do shit, how about you remove half of the trolls or some of the anonymity of people who are just being cunts? Like, that's what they should be concentrating on, not worrying because somebody is I'm not getting as many likes and it makes me sad. Either A, be more interesting, or B, get the fuck off the platform and shut up.
It really is amazing that we're not sitting there and saying, you know, it's up to us to teach people. It's not Instagram's fault that we as a society looked at likes and said, oh my God, I need to base my entire life around that. I need my self-worth to be about how many likes I'm getting on a post. That's not Instagram's fault. That's our fault. I agree with you 100%. Like, it's up to us to understand that that has no real value. That you can't sit there if your self-esteem is so bad because you look at somebody and they've got more likes on their photo than you, to the point where you just don't want likes to exist. What's the point of doing it at all?
Yeah, it's just like, but you should be able to choose that. That's great, but Instagram should not make that choice for you. We don't need, again, that's it. We don't need them to make the choice so everybody feels okay. If it's bothering you, remove that. Or how about how about there's an option on Instagram where you cannot see anybody else's likes? How about Instagram gives you that option? So all of us are not affected by your fucking self-esteem issues. How about you have a setting where all of a sudden nobody else's like or view count shows up in your timeline? This way you can enjoy their posts for whatever it is. How about those options where you can control what you see and what you do and how you interact, and not how the rest of the fucking planet interacts because your feelings get hurt?
Why? Why not just leave the likes up? Like, what happened to having some semblance of just deal with it? Just
I agree.
Deal with it. Sometimes when people say mean shit to you, deal with it. When you're not getting as many likes as you thought you were going to get, deal with it. Like, there are so many lessons in life that you learn from shit not going your way. Like, every failure, if you actually take it in and learn from it, can be a really, really good thing. But when you protect yourself and make sure that you never experience failure, or you never experience hurt, or you never experience somebody not liking you, you might as well be a zombie at that point.
And it's not even the kid's fault, by the way. It's all you dog shit parents.
Yeah.
You're the same one. And every comedian, I'm not trying to do a hack comedian bit where everyone gets a trophy. But here's what's wrong with everybody getting a trophy. We don't keep score. Fuck you, parents. How about you keep score? Give everybody a trophy. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people getting a first place trophy and a second place trophy. Just teach the people who get the first place trophy how to be graceful, and teach your shit kids who get the second place trophy that it's okay you got a second place trophy. It's okay you didn't get as many runs as the other team. You did what you had to do. You did the best you could, and that was an acceptable outcome. But here's your trophy because you played well. I'm fine with that. I don't mind everybody getting a trophy. But just make sure you fucking give a first place and a second place, and then make them both dignified. And how about you teach somebody that if you only get 3 likes, okay, work on being interesting, or understand that we don't keep score. Everybody's the same. There's no labels. Okay, well then stop putting such value on likes. Like, teach your kids how not to put value on 100 likes or 6 likes.
Yeah,
I'm really babbling. I'm coffeeed up. Peckers.
I don't mind it. How can we sit there, right, and pretend we're a society that doesn't want to keep score, and then the most watched television show in the country is the Super Bowl? It's like it's the number one thing that keeps score. Right. It's a championship game where there is one winner that is better than every other team in the entire league. I mean, and this idea, I love hearing people that are in their 40s and 50s, and they're going like, man, these millennials, they can't handle anything. They can't. And it's like, it's not them, it's you, idiot. Like, it's
taught them.
Exactly. It's not kids now not being able to deal with stuff. It's the parents of the kids not teaching them how to deal with stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You're not born being sensitive to likes. But when you're told that there's no scores and there's no grade, it's because your fucking parents suck. And that's why when those fucking shit parents fight at Little League or hockey games, I like seeing it because that's what the real problem is. It's a bunch of people who look at their cum running around with a baseball glove and put so much value on it. Oh my God, your cum got more points than my cum. Let's not keep score because I don't want to have to tell my cum that they're just not going to be a big league outfielder. That's what the problem is. It's all these fucking parents putting so much value on their own fucking loads, winning or losing. If they didn't put that much value on it, that would trickle down to their fucking loads, not caring if they won or lost. Then the rest of us wouldn't have to be obsessed with likes on Instagram and it being taken away.
Dude, you're so right. Like, the idea that parents don't want to have to deal with their kids being disappointed, so they're trying to eliminate disappointment, is exactly what's going on here.
Do you know what happened when I was a kid? I played Little League.
I know exactly.
Okay.
I know exactly what happened when you were a kid, Jim, and it's a tragedy.
It isn't, though. Like, I would lose a game, and I would just go, look, we're not as good, but I'll tell you what I do well. I suck dick better than anybody on that field.
You knew it, too. You knew you were the best.
Oh, I knew it. They knew it. Fucking, old cup lapper Jimmy. Fucking right under the old athletic support. No, but you lose game. I mean, we lost the championship 13-1. That was the final score. We got our dicks kicked in. It didn't ruin me. You know what it told me? You're not a fucking baseball player, Jim.
Right.
You're not going to be a major leaguer.
How do you know what you're good at if you don't know what you're bad at?
Yeah, how about this? How about we tell kids that they have to laugh at each other's jokes? So this way, everyone who wants to be a comedian can be a comedian. How about we tell a kid every single time they tell a lie that we pretend we believe it because they might want to be actors, so we have to teach them that they're acting it. Like, when does it stop? Just fucking do what you don't want to do. When you decide to fuck and you decide to have a baby, great. I'm all for it. But part of that is telling your kid unpleasant shit. So just, stop putting it on the rest of us. It's annoying. I know it's annoying to hear a single guy who's 51 and probably a homosexual babbling about this stuff and what fucking, what a child's life should be. But I'm just tired of it. And look, a lot of people look at my business, dude. Do you think I get more likes than anybody on fucking Twitter or Instagram? I mean, I got friends with 11 million followers. I'm not the fucking top of the shit heap. But I have to live with that and either try to be better or just live with the fact that this is where I am.
Yeah. I see you trying to catch up to 30-year-olds.
I am.
But you're not sitting there crying about it. You put your running shoes on.
I put my running shoes on. I still lag behind. But I'm like, you know what? If you subtitle these videos, you'll at least be 48 instead of 51.
You know what? Maybe it's not all going the way it was supposed to be going, but at least you can call Andrew Schultz and ask him how to do it, right?
And you know what? It's funny. I did call Andrew. Actually, Andrew called me. I texted him and I was asking because he's a phone guy, like Bob Kelly's a phone guy. But Andrew's great because these guys, they like that somebody is asking them and they're happy to help you. They're happy to teach you something. You just can't be so fucking ignorant that you're like, fuck it, I'm not going to, it's overwhelming. And it's like, it's not going to be as effective in my demographic as it is in theirs. But it still helps. So you ask them and they'll tell you. Just don't be a fucking idiot. Just say, hey, how are you doing this successfully? And they'll fucking tell you how to do it successfully.
Yeah, that's what's great about the younger generation now is people are way more collaborative and have figured out that kind of more people succeeding is better for the industry as a whole, which is better for everybody. And that goes for like a lot of different industries. That goes for most industries that I've seen or interacted with. It's
podcasting too. They'll all help you out.
It's way more collaborative than it is competitive. But I mean, anybody, if you're out there and you have kids and you think that, millennials or whatever, young people are the problem, it's you, dude. It's you. I mean, Travis, your kid is a competitive athlete.
Yeah.
She's the number 15 javelin thrower in the country.
Something like that.
Do you...
Number 10. I was just kidding, Travis. I wanted to see if you'd correct me.
You wanted to downplay her a little bit?
She's very good.
I want to see if Travis would jump in.
Probably at this level, you don't experience it as much. But when she kind of first started entering into athletics, were you seeing that parents didn't want to kind of have the competitiveness that somebody who's actually good at something would benefit from?
Yeah, all the time. But I mean, you just have to just be your own parent. Like we tell her, like, winning doesn't matter. It's if you improve on your previous thing. Like if you can
That's a lie.
if you can PR every single time you're out there and you're getting better and better and better, that's all I care about.
Right.
You know?
Well, the way to motivate her is to say, look, Dexter is sick.
Okay, she doesn't care about Dexter.
L's make Dexter sicker. W's make him healthier.
Your daughter doesn't care about your sick dog?
No.
Why not?
She doesn't care about the dogs.
She's had a dog. That dog's been around. She was a baby. The dog was a puppy.
She likes him sometimes, and then other times it's just get out of here.
Oh, that's
Yeah, she's more of a she likes our cat, and that's
What's the
better.
cat's name?
Mittens.
Mittens.
Mittens the
Tell her this.
kittens.
Listen, Mittens has what they call feline cancer. And every time there's an L, that tumor grows a little bit.
That's so
But your
tough. She
W-
does individual competitions. She's not in team sports.
That's right. So if she wins,
She's gonna have to work even harder.
Oh, yeah.
she's going to have to work even harder. She'll be out there doing push-ups like the great Santini. This is the equivalent of you bouncing a little basketball off her head. She'll be outside practicing to beat you.
You know, by the way, I just heard New York is the first state to outlaw declawing cats.
Wow, did they really?
Yep, that just happened.
You have to chop their little feet right off.
You
huh?
do.
I'm
You can.
for it.
You have to depaw
Wait,
them
what?
now entirely. Yeah, New York is the first state that has banned declawing cats. And I believe what the law says is, if you're stupid enough to have a cat as a pet, you deserve to get scratched up.
No, I think what they're saying is this. This is really bad for cats. Because what they're saying is they've outlawed declawing, but they've said nothing about punching your cat in the side of its head that scratches your fucking $8,000 sofa. I guess it's bad for the cat. We declawed our cats. We didn't know it was bad though. And then he would make little biscuits.
He was kneading.
He was neat. It was very cute. He would make
Yeah.
little biscuits.
I mean, I guess it's terrible for them if they're ever out in the wild. Like if they're ever outside and an animal comes and starts to attack them, then they're completely defenseless.
Yeah, it's basically the equivalent of just me or you going, oh, come on, cut it out.
Yeah.
Waving our hands.
Yeah, and it's also apparently excruciatingly painful.
Is it?
That's what they say. It's,
Yeah, isn't it kind of like cutting your fingers off the knuckle or something? They said.
Don't
Yeah,
they
it's
do it when
really
they're
bad.
asleep? They're asleep, right?
you wake up and your paws hurt like hell. What the fuck happened to my claws?
Yeah,
what
you
happened?
don't have something that you naturally should,
Right.
and then you make biscuits.
And then you sit there making biscuits while you're the little boy who owns you goes off and sucks the neighborhood bully's dick.
Yep. And comes home and farts on your nose.
Not only did that poor cat have to get declawed, but it had to get farted on by Jim.
One time I just put my bare asshole on its nose and cut off like one of those. And his little head, he was backing up. I was just being silly.
I mean, I think that this should clearly be a sign to everybody that just stop having cats as pets. They're terrible creatures.
They're adorable.
So are raccoons.
I like that. I have a pet raccoon when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. My mistake. You're right. We should take a break. Ian Finance is coming in just a few minutes here on the show today. And then right after the show, a group of us are going to get into an automobile and join Jim Norton and Handsome Rob, who are already up in Montreal for the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. Jim and I are doing live shows. The whole gang is going to be there, except for Stupid Travis. We're doing live shows tomorrow and Thursday at the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. You could still email if you want to get thrown on the list, jimandsamshow@gmail.com. But the guest list is really amazing for both shows. They're going to be really, really fun.
And I'm also doing Chip Wednesday night, so you can email jimandsamshow@gmail.com. Just put Chip in the subject or something for if you want to come see Chip live here in Montreal. I think we're doing it Wednesday at 8 p.m. right after the bonfire. And I'm sure we'll get some good guests. And either way, it'll just be probably a bit of a clusterfuck. But
A fustercluck?
Fucking home run, Roberts.
Thank you.
I want to do one while I'm up here. So whether people come or not, I'm doing it. So come on out. My show is the 27th, this Saturday at 9:30 p.m. I'm sure there's tickets available, but I haven't checked ticket counts. So if you want to come see me, come see me.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Stay right there.